The Best Brothers.
Replacing Beth Struthers, and she will be hired at the correct rate of her experience and education.
Any discussion?
This would be an immediate.
She's already working.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, all those in favor, show of hands. It is unanimous again. Thank you.
There's one abstain.
Oh, I'm sorry, who abstained?
Me.
Okay, Missy abstained. Thank you. So 4 to 0 to 1. Okay, now we're gonna go through the budget. We're gonna try to get through our 20 pages tonight. We are gonna start all over on page 1 and work again to fine tune. We are gonna go by chunks and the large increase items and the large decrease items. We've received a new budget tonight. That's why we're heading in that direction to do that. Hopefully, we will, by January 27th, in the large presentation to the town, we should have this all fine tuned and ready to go. So on page 1, board members, the proposed is in the shaded area up and down vertically. The difference is in the middle and the percent change is on the right. I do have to pull my mask down because my glasses keep fogging up. There you go. All right. So our first big one is teacher salaries. According to the contract, this represents 29 general educators, including unified arts and longevity payments. And that's the collective bargaining agreement. And this is how we're going to print it and send it to the town. That's up 1.1%. Paraprofessionals, and we were going to look into this last time. And Monica, was this one discussed at the SAU to make sure these salaries are correct and the increase is correct?
Yes, we reviewed those. I reviewed them after Glenn wrote it.
Okay, because that increase to me still looks a little hefty for 3 people.
Right.
Okay.
That looks like it's a $5,000 increase for each of the 3 paraprofessionals. Cindy, that sound a little high?
Yeah.
I thought it sounded high to all of us. Right. Yeah. This is looking like it's $16,000. So Monica, please review that line again. Get the exact people in the salary changes. Okay.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll email that to y'all tomorrow.
Thank you. You can even have till the end of the week. We're fine with that.
You know,
Okay. Looking down, Deb,
I'm on the next page and there's mistakes still.
you're on page 2 already?
Yes, there's one I agree with what you said.
Okay. Looking the rest of that page, the other increase would be in health insurance, FCIA, and retirement, which is not controlled by us. So we'll move into page 2. Okay. No, that mic was on actually. Yeah, again with the retirement at the beginning, where do you see your mistake, Deb?
Well, it's exactly the same thing. We remember on well, I'm on 33. Tuition at the public high schools. Remember we wanted them to check to see if there's an Oyster River student.
Yes.
Those are the exact same numbers we had at the last meeting. So it's no change from last meeting. And I thought we were going to, somebody thought we had somebody at Oyster River.
I'm almost sure we do.
So that may not be correct. That is line, oh boy.
There was did anybody see the voucher, the DocuSign today that came out? There was a 12th grader from a different school district on that. So maybe that's the one. That's maybe what you're thinking about other public school, because it was for a.
I think that line
Good, we
needs to
got
be
Mr.
checked.
Red on it now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe you can find that, Misty.
The other issue we had at
It
our
was in the second DocuSign.
yes, exactly. Remember we asked how many kids are in fourth grade
Yes.
and so forth.
Yes.
All of those numbers are exactly the same numbers we had at the last meeting. There has been no change and they're wrong still.
Which line are you on?
The tuition numbers for how many kids in each grade level at Co-Brown.
Okay, Monica, do you have that?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Okay, so that's going to need to be changed.
Okay.
Okay, I'm glad you're taking the notes, Monica, so that you can make sure these things are done for us.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other questions on page 2? Hearing none, we're moving to page 3. Nice job so far, everybody.
Okay, so they did remove the for dance, Misty. That was our question on that line. And we also had a question about the workbooks. Let me take that.
We're on workbooks.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that one. That was,
The annual.
yeah, so she
the
did,
climate one
that.
is gone. So
Fine.
you're providing that? So, wait, why is it not on? This
Okay.
year, or did it move? It's decreased. Right, but it was. Under project adventure. Oh, yes, now I see it. It just doesn't say climate one, got it.
Thank you.
Line 47. Two down, cost of safety inspection.
I don't think.
All right, which line are we on, everybody, to stay in the same place?
It was two down, the one that's highlighted for the McGann.
Yeah, Project Adventure.
Right, it's the climbing wall inspection.
Sure.
And last week it was up 257%. It was announced at 42%.
That seems reasonable for that.
Well, because it wasn't done last time. So,
Okay.
thank you. You're very
I'm
welcome.
on page 4.
Wow, Debbie, you are.
Yeah, well, the page, he made the font a little bigger, so
Yeah.
if you notice that, I asked him to make it bigger.
Okay, we don't have anything else on page 3. We're moving to page
That's why
4.
it's sort of really small.
Page 4, go ahead.
With it, I think that yellow highlighted note should, instead of reading that, should put that it is, because it says need board decision, that this is based on, so it should say, this is for software for credit recovery for alt ed students. Okay?
Instead of the increase based on separation.
And for need board decision.
Do you have that, Monica?
Tell me what line you're on.
We are on page 4, top of page
Yep.
4, the one that has the highlighted
We can
note.
actually change that right now.
Yeah, so.
Oh, beautiful,
So
thank
all
you.
you would have to write on that, Kathy, would be credit recovery software for alt ed students. Thank you. Because they're gonna ask us what software. Now we understand it's the credit recovery.
Correct.
Um,
Anything else on 4? 4.
30,
Okay, Nate, I'm gonna refer to Nate right now on these special ed numbers. Nate, is this starting at the
Everything.
1200 on the way down?
Everything on 1200s on this page has been updated, and corresponding notes on lines that would need to be entered by me or by Ms. Pagarian have already been taken care of. So
Thank you.
there are numbers in here that we don't control, such as your payroll numbers, but the numbers that we control, we've already collaborated on and put notes in appropriately.
okay,
So everything on this page is up to date.
okay. So I'm
So
sorry. Yeah,
notes inappropriately.
I see something that's
Are
odd.
inappropriately.
Correct.
Entered appropriately.
Thank you.
There you go. Entered appropriately.
The way you said it.
Yeah, I got you.
Nate, are you anticipating a need for increased budget in ESY or anything as a potential comp ed, even if we're not calling it comp ed, but just that more kids will be qualifying? I know other districts are increasing their budget significantly.
So I had recommended that, based that you guys are smaller, it's a little easier, and you've been in person providing some of these services already. I feel as though there are a couple different ways you could do this. We haven't made a lot of determinations here at Strafford yet. You could increase it by a percentage. I don't think you would need to double it for this building, but I do think you could increase it. The other thing that you could look at is, based on the end of year, you're still shooting a moving target, is what would you want to do? You could look at utilizing your IDA funds as well, if there's an extended amount of cost outside of your ESY.
Okay.
So my recommendation here is, based off your last year's your last year's numbers, I would look at increasing it by 10,000, and I think that would cover your needs, providing that you might have a couple additional weeks or staff members that you need to do it. And I think that would be a fair amount to do.
Thank you. Yeah, going to the paraprofessional line there, and I'm looking at Cindy again because she's staying with us tonight. I mean, we're looking at 16 paraprofessionals with a decrease of $12,000 on that line.
And
And on the first page, we had the 3 paraprofessionals with an increase of 16,000. So we really have to reinvestigate that.
Yeah, yeah.
so I'd like to go back to that question that was asked too. When I said you didn't have to double it, I didn't look down.
Yeah.
I'm so used to the other schools, how they budget their ESY is a little different. You have that really robust summer program that includes a lot of other things, and you already budget for that at such a high rate. Most of our other schools' ESY programs are about 23,000 or so, 25. Where you're only at 10 now, I would go up to 10, another 10 just to be safe. So you are doubling it.
Really?
Yeah, just to be safe. I mean, you could say 15,000 if you wanted to do that, and then anything that's not covered, do it through IDA. That's fine too. But I would increase it marginally at least. I would, as we've discussed before, this isn't student specific, it is student needs. So I would be willing to see what the board wants to do on this one a little more appropriately, because knowing that you could offset with some of your IDA funds if you had to.
Okay, so that wouldn't be supplanting.
No, it's not supplanting because it's never been budgeted before and we don't know what the need is. We're
It's
anticipating.
never been budgeted before, but if we put it in our budget, we're budgeting it, and we can never use IDEA money in the future.
That's
Right, so let's keep it at 10,000.
I agree. Yeah.
We keep it at 10,000.
okay.
Moving on. CBNA special ed tuition.
Those numbers are all in there and accurate. I did those numbers.
Thank you.
And that is the current tuition rate at that tuition.
Yes, okay, just a second.
Okay, we're good with 5.
No, I have something
something.
that, based on our discussion in non-public,
Correct, go ahead.
I would like to bring to the board's attention, you currently have a $1 marker on the third to bottom line.
Yep,
And that is for special education non-public.
yep,
My recommendation is based on the potential of an anticipated. So it's not that you have one yet, there is a potential, so it's more of, I don't even want to say anticipated. My recommendation is to put $70,000 into that line to cover the potential need for a high school student.
So this would be, the note says program cost for a student with special needs. It's out of district program cost.
It is, that's why
I
it says
think-
non-public.
No, I mean in the note.
Yeah,
I think we should say out of district because people,
That's fine.
that will be very confusing for people.
okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
And Steve, just to be clear for future discussions, the $70,000 likely will not cover all the associated costs if a student needs to go out of district. We may have to have this discussion again around the future costs.
That's correct. If 70,000 doesn't cover it, you would have to decide whether or not you're going to, if we would want to utilize some IDA or your capital reserve. My suggestion, based on what your IDA numbers look like, IDA numbers are looking like, and staffing needs, I would say you'd want to look at your capital reserve fund first, just to be there. But that 70,000 is a safety net because that is a low tier out of district placement. At a high school level, that is a middle to low tier. It could be higher. It also doesn't take into account your transportation needs that could come along with that. And that is something, again, if you'd like to budget for transportation, in addition to this, we can. My recommendation for that would be a minimum of $40,000 for your transportation for that out of district
That's
cost.
really low.
It is very low, but that's a minimum.
All right.
Okay, so those are that's the only addition there, and we can make sure that gets changed.
Now, Kathy, are you changing that, or is that something Monica's changing?
I'm writing notes that I can send it back to Glenn for numbers.
Perfect.
For numbers.
Anything to do with special education, let's let Nate handle those and I'll take the other items.
Okay,
Okay.
page 6.
Oh, I know what it was.
Not a lot on page 6, but you might have some. Which one?
I wanted to just make sure what the cost was for special ed kids at Co-Brown, if it was the right amount. We had a problem with that last time. Okay, so
No?
you said you looked at that, Nate?
Yeah, this is $8,109, which is an increase of 4.5% over last year.
Okay,
I
so
looked
that's.
at the numbers
yeah,
of students, this is my notes, so I know I looked at your students leaving and your students entering,
Mhm.
Excellent.
and that is your number.
So what people need to understand is this is in addition to, what is our cost for Co-Brown per student? Is it 17?
Yes, it's, I'll go back, it is,
Yeah, it's an additional cost because of the skills program.
Right. So it ends up being 24,000?
I think it's,
I think. I just
it's
wanted to,
closer to 25.
25, okay.
No, 17.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And we don't have any say over that. That just
We
is
do not.
what it is. It is what it is.
Page 6. Page 6 looks pretty clear.
I think the only, why do I have the Medicaid administration 4,000 checked? It was just maybe my own little thing. Is that still the
Go
same?
ahead.
Would you like me to speak to that?
Yes, please, Nate.
Okay, so that Medicaid cost, the administration cost is what you pay to MSB to recoup your fees. We put that in, if you don't utilize it, then you don't spend it, you don't get it, and if you go over it, it just means that you recoup more money anyway. So they take a percentage of what they bring in, so you're only paying for what they bring in, based on all the rules and regs, and what you would be doing with a new SAU, my recommendation is administration costs. That's what you want to do moving forward from there.
So I guess what I would like to see on that line is a note explaining what it is, like what the administrative cost covers, that we're basically hiring a contractor or outsourcing someone to manage the Medicaid reimbursement.
Yep, I'll do that. I can put that note in for you.
Thank you.
And actually, by managing the Medicaid reimbursement, that increases our revenue.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Moving on to page 7. Not many changes on 7. If at all, except 1. Okay. Moving on to 8, we do have some notes on 8. Different colors.
I knew you'd appreciate that.
I like that.
So if I could just speak to the guidance,
Yes, please.
and we did not add the numbers in there, but would like to add some per diem days for our counselors over the summer, because currently they don't have any. So as things happen, especially even this summer, they did not have days that they were paid to work in the summer, so we put some kind of costs or quotes in there, but we did not add that into the proposed numbers, we just put a note in there.
So the increase of 5,800 is based on salaries only,
Yes,
without any increase?
yes.
Okay, let's come back to that, think about that, we'll see where we end up in the bottom line. Okay.
Can I
just
speak
ask,
to
out there,
the
you thinking
yellow?
like 5 days on each end or
I'm
something?
sorry,
like that?
she's got
I think maybe even flex days in the summer depending. I don't know how, because I think what happened is as we were dealing with some of the advisory things, that our counselors were not available to participate in and assist with that.
Right.
I don't know exactly how it would look.
People on that committee did get stipends, correct?
I'd like to talk about that in non-public next time, but
Okay.
let's leave it there for now. Nate, did you have something?
I just wanted to speak to, we generally speak about it non-public. I want to speak to your guided software and make sure that you see, we can edit the note a little bit, and I would like to edit it because I'm not quite sure the exact wording that I didn't remember putting this in like this, but I want to change the wording. It is your 504 software, as we've said, and that covers just your 504. You do have your Adori, which is in your special ed software line at that small fee of $11 per student, which we had talked about keeping in for the remainder of next year as well, due to the fact that we weren't able to get training because of COVID for Nessus. So I want to fix that yellow line. It won't be greatly changed, but it will just be a little more clear, okay?
Any other things on page 8? Nothing?
Um,
Oh, I almost had you there.
all right, almost, I guess, I just don't know what to do about the substitute nurse salary thing.
Well, we just signed,
But that's not $100 a day.
No,
So
that's-
that's what I'm
it's a lot more than
wondering,
$100 a
if we
day.
should do
Like
something.
500 a day, wasn't it?
Right, but that, I mean, you understand this year is different because of COVID and everything. But in the regular school year, I'll ask Kathy that question. Kathy, in the regular non-COVID pandemic school year, if Kathy Cunningham needs a day off to be sick or something, do we get a substitute RN to come in?
Absolutely, and it's because of the high medical needs that we have in the building.
I understand that we need one. I'm saying, have we had good luck in a regular non-COVID year to get a substitute nurse?
We've had one or two.
Okay. So she's been covered in the past, not this year.
She has, yeah, I don't know the availability of those going forward. One of them is available one day a week, and the other one is no longer available, at least right now.
I wonder, because of the critical shortage, if we should raise the per diem rate for the substitute nurses.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, can we word it like not to exceed or something? Because depending on who the person is and whether they're associated with a company or not, that can vary.
Well, if you look at it this way, what we do for our substitute teachers, which right now we're paying 100, they do not have to have any certification. Anybody who substitute does not have a certification. If we're requiring somebody to be a registered nurse, that's a special certification. So shouldn't they be paid more a day, and maybe that would increase the pool?
I agree.
Right, and but that's a policy piece, and yes, we could. Is it a policy?
No, that's not a
Substitute
policy,
teacher
that's
pay is
our
a
own.
policy, so one would assume the nurse would be policy.
I think it's, I mean,
Which doesn't, I mean, we can budget whatever we want.
Right.
I just feel like it's a different credential, so I don't know if the policy applies.
I agree, because we're asking for a special certification or education for subs.
I understand, I'm not trying to get into that discussion, I'm trying to steer us away by saying I think that's a different discussion. We can
Okay.
budget whatever we want.
Okay.
And
So-
have a
So what do you
discussion.
suggest?
I was just gonna say, maybe $150 a day. Kathy doesn't take off very often, but I think it's well worth it when we're looking at having a company for $500 a day. What are you thinking?
It does start July 1st. 150 sounds reasonable for an RN with the certification. Like I said, I know because I'm married to an RN,
Right.
and
And I will say on behalf of.
she said that for her license, she wouldn't come in for $100 a day.
She actually had mentioned that when the sub pay had gone up, so I thank you, she will appreciate that.
We'll make that 150.
So we're budgeting for 15, or we asked budget for 15 days?
So what we'd have to make that, we'd have to add 50% to that, right?
Yeah.
So we'd add 50%, which is $750, so we'd be
22.75. 23 rounded up.
all right, $2,300, okay. Okay.
Okay, 9. Number 9.
Yeah, so that's good, baby. Okay. Oh, I guess we can at some point, Erica, you seem to have questions about this more than anyone.
Which one?
The SLC membership elementary, were you in favor of that?
I think that if the numbers are working that way, that was all that I wanted. There's a break point when you join these groups. And I feel like we have, with the services that we are anticipating using from them, that in the end, it is better to be a member.
Okay.
But especially since we were just breaking out, I wanted to make sure that was looked at.
Okay.
Where and are we going to discuss the ALTEP? Did I miss that?
No, we didn't do that yet.
Okay.
I don't think we're there yet.
We did the software.
Hold on. All right, page 10.
Oh, okay, do we remove that? Okay, it's still there. All right, so, the contracted services for pre-K, we can remove $20,000. So that should,
Leave it at 15.
yeah, remove that from the note for the preschool coordinator, and we will make that 15,000.
Okay, you got that, Nate?
Yep, I got it.
15. It's just the.
What else do we have on,
So 15, not 20, for that line we were just.
Reduce it by 20, which would equal 15, is what I was trying to say, sorry.
That's okay.
what about the OT salaries?
That seems like it was checked. It looks
Okay.
like it's the same. Here is,
Last man standing.
oh, wait, hold on. Nate,
Yes.
do any of the OT salary line, is any of that been budgeted out of the IDEA grant, or is
No.
it's always been in our budget?
As of last year, it was
Okay, all right, thank you.
under contracted service.
Okay.
Anything else on 10?
Well, I just think there's,
Oh.
I apologize.
That's okay, we
And
all see.
again, it's, trying to understand that OT piece.
Yeah,
Contracted service, if it's from SLC,
No, it was not from SLC.
okay. So it's a private person.
No,
It's weird.
I would
Well,
need to
that's
go
what
in,
I'm
I would need to talk about this in non-public.
Okay.
I can go into great detail on this at our next meeting if you want,
Yes.
or whatever, but this would definitely,
I'm just trying to understand because it impacts our transition.
no, I would love to explain it, I just can't do it in this.
That's fine, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
are we ready for 11?
Yes.
Moving on. Halfway through. Nice job, everybody.
No. Oh, yeah, that's good. Never mind.
The course tuition reimbursement,
Yeah, I was just looking at that. The reason we brought it down to 15 was because we never spend it all. And so we felt the 15 was okay, but we're actually,
but we were gonna look at the actuals.
yeah, the actuals, you can see them yourself. So it could be risky,
Could be.
but it's, that's,
What are we running to date now on that?
oh, your actuals were $9,000 last year. The year before it was 2,200.
I don't think you're gonna be in, unless it's all online.
So, I mean, we could bring it down to 10, but that's just something, maybe we could just star that and take a look at it.
I'm trying to look under the monthly expenditure.
Oh, for this year?
Yeah, see where we're sitting right now.
All right, so we can come back to that discussion.
I think that we should keep looking at it.
Yeah, let's
Because if we
let's
get to a
revisit
point
that.
that the budget is like, needs to be cut more, that could be a place to cut it.
I agree.
Okay, we'll come back and look at that. Anything else for 11?
No.
No, good.
Um,
12.
Many teachers across the country are dealing with an
Sorry, you're not clear, Monica. Try again.
with the challenge of the
Sorry, that
public
recording going off on my phone.
Okay.
So she was saying.
Misty, you had a question, and it was a good question, and it even says it in the note. The library aid salary, could that possibly be removed? And I don't know, I think that was a good point, and I think that's another place. We don't have a library right now, right?
We don't, and with our numbers, I mean, years ago when we had higher numbers, that would,
Yeah.
that made sense, but now the numbers are low.
I don't see it here though. I see the note from when we had this discussion last.
It is,
2220.
the number is, it's budgeted at 472950.
Getting back on page, that very bottom.
So I didn't remove it, but I put a note that it was impossible.
Yeah,
I'd say remove it now,
yeah.
and let's see how it looks.
Yeah.
You want to take that out?
Correct, library aid salary. We don't have one. Anything else on 11? Nice job, going to 12.
I think the one on 12 that we had the big question on was the $39,000 for the software. Because it was a pretty, well, compared to last year, it was a pretty substantial jump.
Non-public.
No, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't change from what we budgeted from last year. The jump was 1920 to 2021.
Right.
This
So
year's the same.
I don't know, Kathy, do you have anything to say about that $39,000?
No, I mean, I left it based on the same software things
I
that
don't know
were
what
in
you're
there.
saying.
The request that came through for subscription.
I
Okay.
had a note when we met last that I think you, Debbie, requested a list of the software.
Yes.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so then it would help us to have a better understanding.
Just if the public asked
Yeah,
to be able to
Yeah,
have
no
a
problem.
right.
examples of the software.
We should have that.
Now there is a huge jump on technology, new equipment, and I have a comment about
Go ahead.
that. There is a possibility, and we don't want to start thinking, we probably already spent the money, but we have, I talked to Bruce and I had a long conversation a few weeks ago when it came back that, that whole check from Health Trust.
Yes.
So he said, call the auditor, see what the auditor said. I called the auditor. The auditor said, oh no, you can have a little public hearing, not a huge, not a big deal. You post a public hearing. You say you want to accept these unanticipated funds. Now he gave me the information that we could use them for under Executive Order 38 and possibly use any unanticipated COVID-related expenses, like maybe the money we just spent on the preschool teacher, like maybe the custodian salary. No, we only have $42,000. It's not going to go far. But I'm also thinking if there's any other money, if we needed computers right now, for at the end of, you know what I mean, second half of the year.
Right, well, those were.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
We're just getting the computers that were ordered over the summer.
Okay.
So there's not gonna get.
But if you
anything
order them,
delivered.
I
I think I did deliver it.
okay, then I'm wrong,
On-site.
then I'm
And the
wrong,
equipment
okay.
has to be on site by December 31st. I could be wrong.
And then money's
No, I
probably
am,
spent.
She's not.
Because between her salary and the
No, that's good. No.
custodian.
This
So,
first part for salary, in like this month.
no, that's the different thing. This would be for next year. Once we accept it, we could use it for the rest of the year, unanticipated COVID
Got it,
expenses.
got it.
And it can't be double booked, like we can't claim it for CARE Act and then use it for this. It's two separate things. But then I spoke with Glenn and he had a different way to do it. But I said to him, just call the auditor and get this.
So where are we landing then? Is that a savings? Are we reducing that?
Last week, it was 72.5. This week, it's now up to 99.
I think we bought a lot of new items this year.
Yeah.
We are gonna get some back with COVID money.
Yeah,
I think we should hold it back at 72 for next year.
I agree.
I couldn't hear everything you said, Chris.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to say that it was incorrect, the 90 was the correct number, that the one that you guys saw last week did not have the updated number. This was the accurate number based on what we got from, Jim.
We're talking about holding it back at 72 for next year. We have bought new devices pretty much for everybody. Is that correct?
Not everybody, but yes, a number of them.
Several new devices.
Yeah, so I think get it out of 72, we should be able to do that for next year. In a year that we might have to hold some lines, this is one that I think we can't hold. So let's leave that back at 72 if you don't mind. Got it, Nate? You got it, Monica?
I had a hard time because there was some sidebars going. Just tell me what line you're on. I'm trying to follow where you are.
Technology, new equipment, we reduced it from 90 to 72.5.
Okay, all right, got it.
Thank you. School board salaries. Okay. Page 13, lucky 13. Okay, you get all the superintendent stuff down at the bottom.
Yep.
Looks like that's already in place.
Checking.
What do you think of 13? Anybody else see anything on 13?
I'm just curious why
Why what?
never mind, no, I'm no longer curious.
What'd you say?
She's no longer curious.
All right, moving on to 14. Again, has a lot of new positions because of the change in SAU. And I think that Mr. Freeman would like to look at the computer software too before we make any decisions at that.
Yeah,
Right there.
yeah, and that computer software, that's not this one. This one we're hoping that we're gonna
Right.
take from the grant. This is for the front line for the professional development and for the evaluations. And I want to make sure that number is correct. I'm going to recheck my numbers for that one, okay?
Anything else on 14,
Because you
Deb?
want to keep, I'm sorry, you want to keep the frontline evaluations, or you like the frontline. That's what we were told, so we included that.
See anything else, Deb, on 14?
Student services director.
Okay, 15.
Yep,
Nice. We are making progress tonight.
Yeah.
I love this.
that looks all good.
Okay. We haven't put in any increases for administration, secretarial salaries, or support staff.
Yeah, I think those numbers were okay last time.
We do that at the end. Okay.
I think it was really the special ed stuff that was really off. I just want to check this business manager thing. This part-time business administrator.
I think I personally have a little concern around the salary for student service director in comparison to principal, assistant principal in particular.
What would you think?
Well, I'm just thinking if we're gonna hire a full-time special ed director and we want it, I mean, I don't know if others have an opinion, but to pay your assistant principal more than you're paying your special ed director kind of sparked to me as odd.
Yeah, well, in every meeting, we're adding more things to that plate. So, yes, I totally.
What was the other one? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you want to raise it $5,000? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think when an assistant principal is getting paid more than a special ed director.
Well, we're gonna be
someone's
looking at
gonna
that.
both positions,
We're
I
gonna be
find
looking
that
at that
odd.
anyway. Okay. So you want to change that? I don't. If people want us to put 80, you never know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I would increase that personally, whether that would decrease in another area, I don't know. It just didn't jive to have the
We just took
numbers.
that whole chunk out of technology, so.
Do you want to increase that to 80, or what do you?
Well, what I was thinking is we match it with the assistant superintendent, assistant principal.
78, 78.
60.
What do you think, Misty?
Well,
Yeah, I just think
Okay.
the roles and the responsibilities.
So I wouldn't put 5 in there.
you know, we can also change. Well, I guess we'll see. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
If we could add like $3,000, is that what you're saying, or add?
I mean, I think 80 is more reasonable, but we can do what we can do. And we gotta remember, we're going to attract what we pay.
I think 80 at a minimum is appropriate.
If people want to do 80, maybe we'll take it from someplace else. That's fine with me. So we would have to adjust, I don't know who would adjust this. Nate, are you in charge of that?
No, but I'm writing notes.
He's
Okay.
taking notes and Monica's
So
taking notes too.
you know,
so-
all the things that flow from that, the FICA, the retirement. Okay.
I mean, Nate, do you agree with what I'm saying for the director to make less than the assistant principal? You two have been in both positions like me. Doesn't that seem odd?
I don't think 80 is enough, but, so yes, that's.
Okay, so you do agree?
Yeah, I
so
do
80
agree.
at a minimum.
I'm just afraid that based on the needs, that 75 would be a large ask. So I do agree it needs to go up, and I agree with what Missy said, is you attract, I'm sorry, Erica said, Miss Tom said, you attract what you put out, so
All
I
right.
agree.
That's perfect. Okay. So I'm looking at the other ones. All right.
What page are we on? You've gone back.
16.
15?
16. I'm on
16, nice.
I just wanted to see the business, retirement. Yeah, where it says FT bookkeeper, I think we're gonna call that person a finance manager, because it's more of, we wanna make it a broader term. That's what we have in our
Are you
plan.
referring to the salary business manager?
It says bookkeeper,
Oh, sorry.
and it says yeah. I don't know,
Two
whatever.
positions, yeah.
Okay, whatever, we'll think about that later, it's not a big deal, but we called it something different in our plan. That's all. Bookkeeping is part of the job.
Are you off 16?
I'm on 17.
You're on 17?
Yep, I'm going. Okay, so the custodial salaries, I'm confused.
Yeah, you should.
Why is there such a big jump in the custodial?
Well, we pushed up the hourly wage to attract people during the COVID time.
But would that equal $40,000? Just a couple of dollar increase?
I don't know. That's something we should look.
You've also added positions, haven't we?
But we added positions because of COVID.
Carrie says yes.
I don't think we're gonna, I mean, if we don't have COVID next year, let's pretend we don't have COVID next year, we wouldn't have the additional
That'd
custodians.
be nice, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
They're part-time people, we could adjust their hours.
No, but there was one that we added on a layer.
Yeah, we added on for COVID particularly, right? That's because that person's salary will be able to be
We made some
claimed
adjustments.
for all of our cares, money and everything
I think
else.
that's gonna be the rate going forward. I think the rates will stay the same.
But it's, okay,
We could reduce hours if the workload is less.
I just don't understand why we're increasing at $40,000. Increasing somebody's salary from $12 to 15 is not gonna be $40,000. It doesn't add up.
Want me to investigate that?
Yes, Monica, would you look at that line?
Yep.
Look at that line, look at the number of employees, the amount that the employees are getting, and then come up with a true number for us there.
Okay.
Thank you.
We also increased the existing full-time person's salary because of the other.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Right,
Yeah. But I think they should be checked.
Oh,
right.
and we went down in the part-time, the sub line, overtime line.
Yeah.
We went down 54%.
The thing is, if for 10 we have COVID next year, if we budgeted for it, we're not gonna get reimbursed for it if it's actually an extra person for COVID. You understand? You know what I mean? Like if it's something we're adding,
Right.
not a
You're
budgeted item, we're not gonna be reimbursed for it because we already planned for it. And that's hoping that that's not true, but
I know, it's a gamble.
Right.
We don't know. We hope. So we're on 18?
What are we on? Yeah, 18? Sure.
Bruce, can I talk about a couple of things?
Yeah, I'm looking at
Go
the
right ahead,
increase in the
Carrie.
maintenance.
What page?
Okay.
All right,
Give us page number, please.
pardon?
Page number.
Oh, well,
It's at the top.
it's just kind of, oh, okay, say 18.
18, go ahead.
All right, well, I want to anticipate some income, and I don't know how to,
I mean, tell us what you mean. Oh, you're talking about the timber? You're talking about timber or the?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
okay. We have to let Glenn know what we're anticipating right now that we're getting $68,000 back from the SAU. Glenn knows that needs to be reported, otherwise we can't use it. So if you think your forester and the board has agreed that we're gonna do that one piece that is allowed to be cut, not clear cut hopefully, but selectively cut, and our forester says, oh, you can anticipate $40,000 from that, then you have to tell Glenn that, and you know what I
We
mean?
will put that on the anticipated revenue sheet that comes separate than the budget.
But he's
And what
gonna,
that does is, that we can't take money from our budget and use anticipated funds for it, but we have to have an additional sheet with the anticipated funds that would offset the bottom line of the budget and reduce the taxes in the end.
okay, so I should
but
contact one?
we have to have a document
Yeah.
from maybe the forester telling us how much he thinks we should cut, and we all have to agree
Okay.
how much he estimates we would receive as revenue.
Yeah.
Then Glenn has to report that to the Department of Revenue, where they create our tax rates and all those kinds of things. That has to be, there's a process, it has to be reported.
Okay, well, I want to get going on.
Okay.
And then guidelines that what can be sold and not, they assume the forester would be on top of that.
Yeah, the markets, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you can't cut for
Oh,
the purpose of generating money, you're not allowed to.
that is a whole nother thing. If we're doing it, if it can, we need to find
Now,
out.
the forester says you have to do it to protect the land, we can benefit.
Right,
This is my
right.
understanding, my reading of it.
No, you're right.
If the forester says you need to do this to save it out of nature, and we benefit from the timber, that's fine, but we cannot go into the process saying, we need some revenue, let's cut down some trees.
And we have to pay a
That
timber
was not
tax to
good.
the town.
What's that?
We have to pay a timber tax to the town. If we're paid
You
Say that.
$30,000, they take, you know, I don't even know what the, because we cut. and we
They
have to
take
pay.
a dollar stumpage fee or something like
Yeah,
that. So
so you don't get all that money, they
Right.
tax it.
I just want to make sure that we go through all that, you know, it ends up in our.
And that we're allowed to have the revenue from it. That is a,
Huh?
yeah, a whole other thing.
Can I ask one more question on the note,
Sorry, 18, sir.
still 18? I thought we had talked about repairs and maintenance of the dam and not an increase, but I don't see any.
There's another
It
page
is in here
here.
somewhere, because I remember writing that.
Okay.
we paid the dam permit fee this week.
We did.
That's just sounds wrong, but
The licensing fee or the registration?
the dam permit fee this week, yeah, it's $400.
No, we just had that in here.
Oh.
I didn't clause
Oh,
enough, I
this
guess,
is the
between
bottom.
that.
Or it's inaccurate.
Dam.
Yeah.
All right.
So that is
on the bottom
accurate.
of page- It's on the bottom of page 7.
The dam fee.
Yep.
The dam.
Okay, so that went up.
Chevy Chase.
Removing your fingers.
Okay, that went down. That's
Where you, what
nice.
page you on?
I'm on 18.
Perfect.
The insurance went down. That is sort of nice. Okay.
That's how that was the main on this.
3,000.
Looks good.
64. 39.
18. Huh?
One more thing?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, how do we want to handle the roof?
Thought we talked about a warrant article.
Yeah, warrant article.
So, how do we get that going?
Warrant articles have to be submitted,
Well, it's a certain period of time after a public hearing.
Right, 30 days prior to the district meeting.
So what we have to do though
We have
is,
to have all warrant articles in 30 days prior.
Yeah. So-
Actually, 31 days prior if you want to make sure it's on time.
so in January, we have to think about it, and then
Debbie's going to tell you.
the lawyer has to approve it. The lawyer has to rewrite the language to the warrant. Like, we can tell him what we want, the lawyer will write it up in the proper way. And then,
Basically, what we need
Mhm.
for the 1989 part of the school, the roof, we did like 150.
How much?
150?
150,000?
Yeah.
That's for that whole section?
Yeah, no, 1989 section.
Okay.
Then we'll be up to date.
So we'll put that in a
Do you
warrant.
want to do it all at once, or did you want to do it over 2 years? What do you guys think? Because we can wait 2 years to do it, or we can do,
we need to figure out what the tax impact is with this budget, my opinion. Once we figure that out, then we figure out the two options, what the tax impact would be, and what's more likely to pass. If this will be a huge tax impact, the 75 is more likely to pass. If we can sort of make it not too bad.
You can put it in for the whole thing, Carrie, and we can do a motion, an amendment to the article.
Can we do that?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
That motion to amend the article the day of the district hearing, district meeting, I'm sorry. So to reduce it to half of it, if that's what we're looking at.
We should probably have it all set before our budget hearing, so that you can explain it to people. And people want to see the tax impact of that warrant article.
okay.
It'll be almost $1 right there.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe that'd be 150,000.
Yeah, we have budget number of 152.
152, I think now it takes 300,000 to raise it $1.
What's that?
I think it takes 300,000 to raise taxes $1. That would be a 50 cent increase per 1,000
Okay. Yeah.
on that part of the roof.
Mhm.
Or it'd be more if it leaks and goes through and it ruins everything.
So what we could do is when we present it in
One or the other.
hearing, is get maybe some photographs of it or something, and then we'll do a little presentation about how bad it is, how old it is.
Okay.
You'll do that? It'll be
Yeah.
your warrant?
The other facilities got it.
Yeah.
Hey, only 10 years left on the bond. Not bad.
Yes, yes. Where is my listing? Oh, here it is.
Are you on 19?
Yes, I'm just looking at the transportation numbers.
Well, transportation is, special ed transportation. We don't have the increase that for our Dale and there, for elementary and high school, because we haven't accepted anything yet.
Isn't it still, is that
have we?
still good?
No, I want to speak to that. I just,
Go ahead.
I just want to mention again, and you can choose what you'd like. I do recommend if you're going to put money in the budget for out-of-district placement at the high school level, you should also put money in for a potential transportation need. 40,000, I feel, is a very minimal number for transportation costs. It could be much more. I understand the board's apprehension. So I would just recommend that you do budget something for your an increased transportation cost for that potential placement.
That's not, so that's all lumped together. There's not an out-of-district transportation.
No, you,
Okay.
as a board, you decided to use it out of your special ed transportation elementary line. Even though it says elementary, you did the same thing with your homeless transport for high school. You decided as a board that you'd only have the high school line, even though it could be utilized for your elementary as well.
Can we make that note different so the community understands?
Yeah, it needs to be different.
The description?
Yes.
Yeah, I can take out high school and I can take out elementary and it is in district and out of district cost for the special ed transport though. I want to be
Or
clear on
even
that.
just add that, the fact that it's.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that. That's not a problem. We'll go through and do that. Okay, so
But we need to increase it is what you're recommending.
I am recommending you increase it. And I know this is a scary number and I still don't think it's the number that you're going to get. I say you increase it by 40,000 for that out of district placement. I still think it's gonna be higher than that, but that gives you a safety net.
So then the note would reflect,
The same,
it would reflect a high school
Anticipated.
and an additional anticipated just replacement.
right, I currently have this could change due to ridership, so I'm gonna put that extra note in there.
Yeah.
So,
Because people are going to, when they see a giant $40,000 increase, we need to explain why.
yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree,
What
so,
do you think is enough? What are you thinking about that?
I don't want to say it in public.
Okay,
I don't have.
It's a tough thought.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do
Yes,
you want
ma'am.
me, do you want me to go ahead and have the business administrator incorporate a 3% increase in the regular ed transportation as a placeholder?
Yes,
I know you haven't accepted the contract, but do we want to go ahead and budget that just to be on the safe side?
yes, please. And that's what's going to happen anyways.
What is the board's?
Yeah, put the 40. You got to do it. I mean, if it doesn't happen, we turn it back.
That's correct.
Okay.
We wouldn't know that in January, would we?
No.
No, there's
Okay.
no. Well, if you knew it in January, that would mean it already took place and we'd be hitting your
Okay.
reserves now. We'd change it.
We don't want that.
Well, sometimes people move.
It'd be nice.
They do.
I know, I just.
Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I apologize.
You never know.
Okay, we're down to food service and moving to the other page. So right now, it looks like the budget is up 2.2%. 262,000. It'll be up
That's
over,
pretty extraordinary considering we brought in our preschool, we're transitioning our
Right.
SAU office.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
but, also, this includes about $50,000 or $40,000 of one-time costs that we're getting reimbursed for. So it's really not up that high.
right.
So,
but we do have that special ed transportation.
but we didn't add the special
Out of district.
transportation, and there was, we increased.
Yeah.
Increased.
We'll get it on the next one.
I think, I like.
Okay, so at this time, what will happen next is we will wait for the new budget. Once again, go through it, make sure things have been changed, corrected. All narratives have been changed, all numbers have been put up or down in the right perspective. Kathy, is the budget still frozen at this time? For non-essential, non-COVID items? Yes?
Well, the only reason I would say no is, with the money that we had to send for the 200 per pupil.
Yeah,
We couldn't get reimbursed until we could justify that we spent all of that, and going through all of the things that we had. There were things that we added to that, so I did put those through, and
okay.
they are all, it's all PPE and those kinds of things.
Well, there were some things on DocuSign today that I questioned that were not COVID related, not things that I would feel would be essential right now. Okay, so if you look at that document, you might see what I'm talking.
Can I ask a question, or are you still going on that one? You want,
I have
you
no
want her
idea
to
what
look
you're
at,
referring to.
she doesn't have it.
I'll explain it later.
Okay.
Kathy, you're talking about putting in for the additional money for the CARES Act by the December 31st money, whatever. We never saw a list of any of that. I thought we were gonna get a list of what we're spending that money on, or what we, because it's supposed to be reimbursing us for a lot of things.
Well, a lot of the CARES money, I mean, if we spent CARES money, we're not being reimbursed for CARES money. So I had to go back to find things that were that we did not use CARES money for in order to be reimbursed. And I have stacks of.
If you look at the second DocuSign that we received today, there's also a lot of supplies from Granger. From Granger for spray bottles, masks, those things. And it didn't have any kind of notation that it would be for the CARES money. So I don't know if you included those yet or not.
I think we put them through, I would have to double check, because Amanda called Charlene because we knew that was what needed to go through, but we
Okay.
have to attach it to the line before we can have that grant, because Amanda actually went through and did that, so
Okay.
it is going through that, but we had to attach it to a line, so I think some of it might have gone through on the nurse's line.
I did see nurses items, but I also saw it on the custodial.
Okay.
And that wasn't the one that, I signed just before I came to this meeting here
Okay.
this afternoon, so you may want to, look carefully at some of those places, because they almost look buried, okay, between other items that would not be
Okay.
COVID related.
Okay.
So do you have the
Carrie,
list
you signed that
for us,
today.
Kathy? Or do you have the list up for us, what you have submitted or are submitting for that reimbursement?
Yes, I have all of it. This is my copy. I did not make a hard copy for you. I'm happy to forward you what I forwarded again.
Oh, yeah,
or
because
just
I did, we
right,
talked
not
about
the-
getting this a couple weeks ago. A few weeks ago, we did, when we first came to that.
Okay, so we're gonna close the budget portion of the meeting right now. Is there any other things from the board at this time? If not, I'll open it up to second public comments for the one public that was good enough to sit through it all. Eric, do you have any other public comments? You can say them right from there. You don't even have to come down the floor. Okay, you see how we're doing it? We're looking at every line, getting through it. We'll do it at least 2 more times before we have the hearing. So at this time, our next meeting is January 13th. Okay, we may be calling another budget session before that.
I think we need a clean budget, because we still have things that were not correct.
I have my own bond and budget hearing in Oyster River that evening. I mean, you'll still have a forum, I'm just giving you notice.
Do you think we should
Thank
meet
you.
earlier in January, maybe? If we don't meet in December,
Well, I would think the week before that, the 6th.
that might be a better time. What do you think, people? Because I just don't feel, because the second meeting in January is the hearing.
The 27th. 27th is a hearing.
Yeah, so it's like to meet one more time and then have a hearing, I don't think we're there yet.
The 6th, budget only.
The 6th budget only, yeah,
Okay.
budget only.
And I'm the board meeting, but I am not, we still have a
You're
forum.
getting busy this time.
I know.
Yeah, because we don't really feel like we want to meet next week, right?
I do this in my day job, unfortunately.
Any day next week? No, okay, so then
We meet after the holidays.
all right, so then it's gonna have to be the 6th, because then the week after that.
Yep, 6th and 13th for budget, and then 27th. And
So at 6
then we're back to
o'clock.
regular schedule for.
Okay.
Would you like for us to post the January 6th meeting as a budget work session?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Not a budget hearing, a budget work session.
Does that prevent us from doing anything that we may need to do if we notice it that way?
Monica changed that. We may have to do some small items, so put it as a school board hearing, and the only thing that'll be on the agenda as of now would be budget in minutes at this time. Huh?
Okay.
Resolutions, or we,
And Erica needs a resolution.
because we're canceling this 13th and
Right.
moving to the 6th, or we adding
But we're,
the 6th?
we need
We're
to
adding the
add-
6th.
So we're still on the 13th?
Yeah.
Correct.
Got it, okay.
Okay, one last
Yeah.
clarification. We're going to call this a school board hearing or a school board meeting?
School board meeting, I'm sorry, meeting.
All right.
Thanks, Nate corrected me too, thank you.
Okay.
Getting my meeting words will mixed up at this time of night, but that'll be a meeting, the 13th will be a meeting. The 27th will be the hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, and the hearing has to go into the town calendar as well as the March, I believe it's 4th, is that the first Saturday of March?
Oh, look at
6th? March 6th, Monica,
Yep.
you'd have to coordinate that with the town, that's a 9 a.m. meeting on March 6th for the school district hearing.
well,
We'll need the
we're just gonna.
attorney at that meeting as well as everybody here,
Yeah.
okay? And
All right.
There'll be plenty of budgets out there for everybody by that time.
Okay.
Okay, so is there anything else for today?
Wait a minute, Missy, is there a day you can make it on, if you can't make it on the sixth, is there another day that week?
It's
We could
okay. I
just have
mean,
Missy there.
you have a quorum.
I know, but I think your input is important.
Hey, you want to go the 5th?
Can you do it on the fifth? We're
January
flexible.
5th.
Is that,
I can do January 5th on that Tuesday. I don't know how that impacts us.
Can
like,
we
you
still use
travel
that date,
together.
maybe?
Okay.
All right, January fifth, we're gonna change that to January fifth.
For a school
If
board.
Monica can't make it.
All right, January 5th.
Yeah, we're moving it to the 5th, Monica, because we want to make sure all board members are here. Anything else for public session?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, thank you. I've been waiting for someone to say it. Is there any second on that?
I second.
All in favor? Aye, thank you. Eric, thank you for sticking with us. Aaron, thank you for being here. Monica, thank you